of people.
It can break down
all over the world.
Yeah. It can break down these scriptures that's been a mystery for ages. Prophecies. You know, going into Daniel 2 and Daniel 7, the beast in Revelations 13. You know, able to break down Revelations 20, and you know how it jumps around from the first verse to the. So,
hey, we can a Christian scholar or professor, they can come up here and when they want to deal with prophecy or the deeper stuff of the scriptures, the spirit will mess their head up. And they'll be wondering how the hell y'all know this stuff.
And the thing about it is,
but it ain't of us. We take no credit to any of it.
That's the best part.
And we're just vessels that the Lord chose to place this gift in. It's precious, and that's why we defend it with our life, man. That's why we're passionate about it. That's why we get on these other guys when it comes to this, because we're putting trust of it, man.
I was lucky. I want to add one little something to what you said. That's the special part, because we can go into something and we don't take credit for having that understanding. The other side of it is, he actually had us, speaking on the Most High, had us speaking this thing before we had the examples for you to, not just you, but for them to be able to understand it. Because when we were teaching it before, people were like, America can't ever lose. They're just in whatever their frozen, stiff, locked-in minds were up to. But now that we're looking at the ways of the world change, current events changing, and starting to look like everything we've been talking about before it was unfolding. That's why prophecy is one of the most powerful things in the earth. The ability to say something before and it come true. And we understand that power is not of us.
I was going to add to your point or Quadzar's point, that it makes so much sense. They're in denial that it's the truth because it's coming from us.
Yep. That's what they don't like.
That's what they don't like.
Because the prophets is not without respect in their own country, their own countrymen. We're not held in a high esteem or high regard as a mega pastor or a celebrity, you know, somebody with a Nobel Peace Prize or something. We're not held in that same regard, so they'll be so quick to be dismissive of what we're saying, and we ain't using our own words. Clearly, we're bringing the word out. We're commanded that when we do come out here and speak, you better speak thus saith the scriptures. You can't speak outside of it, or you be found a liar. Yeah.
Real quick. I'm sorry, brother. We got that one. Real quick. 13.
And they shall turn to you for your testimony.
Call the scripture again.
Luke 21:14. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist.
So and that's talking about that day, of course, but even now we're able to do it. People come up here and get confounded on the things we say, because we have the breakdown. We can make it plain to where they can't gainsay nor resist. Like, damn, that do sound right. I can't. How many times we get that? I can't argue with that. I don't know about this part, but I can't argue with that. And the part that they don't get is just because they can't get it. It's just blocked. It has nothing to do with what we did up here.
Yep. That's why, like right now, because it's been going so one-sided, with the church taking nothing but L's, it seems like they're trying to get their second win by now, trying to come back and combat, you know, what we're teaching. So now they're feeling emboldened to come to the camps. You know, they'll come with a few guys and their readers and their little microphone and you know those tactics, but it's still not working. It's like the Lord said. Well, actually, no, it was Gamaliel, but the Spirit of the Lord was on him. If it be of the Most High, if it be of men, it'll come to naught. But if it be of the Most High, You can't overthrow it. And that's what they're seeing. That's part of the demonstration of the power of the Spirit. You know?
Sirach 3 and 19. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed to the meek. Like the brother mentioned
actually, the brother was just reading that.
No, Sirach.
Sirach 3.
Yeah, read the couple verses.
18.
Yeah.
verse 18 back in Sirach 3. It says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself.
Because it's not of us. We got to be humble because it's not of us. We're just trusted to give it, let it pass through us. We're honored to let it pass through us. But we can't ever be like we see what happens when somebody thinks this information came from them.
Right.
We're watching how they're getting shamed, and really we ain't even seen fully the end of how this is going to play out for those types of guys.
One of y'all brothers grabbed Jeremiah 9 and 24 or 23.
Yeah, that's a good example. That dude, man, he got cast down hard.
I'm the chief priest. What Cesaria gonna get a hot one?
Sure. Oh, he just had one?
I
yeah,
trust
sure he had.
the Most High.
He's
So he's not,
still proud.
he's not even humbling down?
Yeah, he's still proud.
Yeah.
Still proud. The Most High gonna make a public example out of him.
But he's the perfect guy for us to watch and go down with, and it's his own fault.
See, and when the Lord publicly judged that dude in the midst of all Israel, people gonna remember all the years that we've been saying, "Hey, look at this," because we've been really showing the world of Israel that man's character from the beginning. We've exposed his whole entire character to the world, and because a lot of people don't like us, they never took our word for it. So they're going to get to see for themselves. And then when the Lord finally actually make a public example, that's when, hey, you're going to see it. The Spirit is definitely working with those men. Because they've been the main ones warning about this.
It's going to be a beautiful thing to see too, you know, when and like you said, we the apostles, the elders, brothers on down been showing you all of these niggas' characters, man.
All of them.
And him in particular, you know, something came out that's even worse than what brothers been warning about. And the ones that seen it, that have been backing them up and been, you know, on this side.
Yeah, niggas that fasted for him.
Yeah, you turned around and rented the men that told you about him.
Yep.
So y'all gonna get fucked up too.
Yep. And then when they start scattering, don't run over to us, man. Right. Go you to the buyers and you know, and buy. All right. Go ahead.
Back in Sirach 3 and verse 19. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek. And just like it says, you know, the Most High uses the weak things of the world to confound the wise, man, because he's not dealing with anybody that's gonna try to take glory and credit unto themselves, which a lot of people are.
I used to sell dope, but now I sell hope.
Huh? Sound like a rapper.
That shit sounds lame.
I guess basically, I gotta get some kind of glory somehow, based off that type of statement. He gotta get some kind of glory or some type of shine. He just can't give all the credit and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Hey,
He's still a nigga, man. Like I listened to that song, bro. He's a nigga, bro.
Yeah.
He fucking said, I found out about the truth and left some chilies in the streets.
Yep.
If you know about that, you know what he's talking about. Like, why would you even put that in the song that's supposed to be about the truth? That's some nigga shit, bro. Yeah, drugs.
Oh, shit.
And you somebody pull that brother's precept?
Jeremiah 17, you said?
In Jeremiah 9, right?
9.
Read it out.
Jeremiah 9 and 24. Those who wish to boast should boast in this alone. But let him that glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Let's go if you want to speak on that.
But yeah.
If you want to speak on what he read.
You can read it again, so like.
Yeah, read it one more time.
Thus says the Lord Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches.
And that's why I said in the precept, I believe it was in here, but yeah, it was in here. You know, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself. Everything that we are, everything that we're gonna become, it's not of us. You ain't out there gaining so much knowledge because you just in the books and you just studying and it's just coming to you like that.
Cause you that guy.
Exactly. The Lord is supping with us. He's opening up our minds and giving us this understanding. So the more we grow, the more we learn. It all goes back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Keep going.
But let him that glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord.
And that's why those mysteries are revealed unto the meek, because the Lord knew who he was going to put that wisdom into. He knew that they was going to give him that credit again. You know, it said, it's like you read that the latter part. That last verse.
Judge, the beginning.
Oh, so like it said,
23,
but let him glory.
But let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord.
Because we understand that this is a gift at the end of the day. We understand that the Lord, He chose us. You know, Lord willing, we're chosen to endure unto the end. But the fact that we're able to be in this ministry and to be in this position, in this office, is a blessing in itself. So why would somebody even think to boast or have any kind of pride in this thing, man?
Right.
Just as easily as we was in the world and we was doing all that bullshit when we was the old man, the Lord could have kept us in that state.
That's something that they carried over into this platform. The pride, the big ego, the self-glorification, you know, all that, you didn't get rid of it. That's something that you're supposed to get rid of when you cross over. You know, if you don't, well, it's a bad taste. You're putting out a bad aroma. The Lord, that scent. The Lord's not gonna like it. You know.
They burn the incense up to other idols, man.
The sacrifice that you're offering, it's not a good sacrifice. You know.
I got something. 1 Corinthians started 15 and 8. I'm gonna read down. NLT. Last of all, as though I had been born at the wrong time, I also saw him. For I am the least of all apostles. In fact, I'm not even worthy to be called an apostle after the way I persecuted the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's church. But whatever I am now, it is all because Yahweh poured out his special favor on me, and not without results. For I have worked harder than any of the other apostles, yet it was not I but Yahweh who was working through me by his grace.
Right. Technically, none of us here are worthy to be a part of the ministry. You know? But it's through grace that the Lord has us here, man. Okay, we didn't do it. There's nothing. We didn't do anything. We didn't get it by ourselves. Okay, so knowing that, what type of spirit that we should be in?
Yeah.
You know, we shouldn't be in a spirit of, oh shit, hell yeah, I'm the man. You know, I'm the chief. High this. Okay, I'm a leader, and nah, man. You're supposed to be still.
If anything, it shows more humility when you boast in your weakness.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what Paul was doing. He acknowledged that, yeah, even though I got all these revelations, even though, the Lord put me in this position to have this authority, if only you knew what come with that. get my ass beat for this truth.
Shipwreck.
I get shipwrecked.
The demons he have
I
to
get
fight.
slandered. I get sick. I get the thorn in my
He
side.
got killed.
Yeah, he got
Yeah,
stomped.
got caught up to the third heaven.
He came back.
That's glory in that. Now that you got these revelations and you feel like you a deep dude and the spirit is just with you, you know. If I can, oh, there was more.
You might on that Ciroc 3, it might be a little bit more on there.
Okay.
You get yours, unless he was the last reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in Sirach 3, in, verse 20, it says, "For the power of the Lord is great, and he is honored of the lowly. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength.
Yep. Keep going.
But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence. For it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret."
Yeah, some things are just not meant for, we don't need to go deep into. A lot of times, we have somebody ask us like a deep question. Was that third angel that was
Yeah.
with Noah? Or whatever he said. Like, man, they ain't got nothing to do
over there?
with
Yeah.
Man, they ain't got nothing to do with salvation, bro. Like,
He's like, I know. He's like,
yeah, come on, bro. You want to know how, I'm just interested. You need to be interested in salvation.
Right.
What you are commanded that you are able to do, that's what you should be thinking upon with reference. You should be occupied in prophecy.
So we'll go into certain historical things in the scriptures, but some things don't matter.
Yeah.
As the brother said, it doesn't pertain to salvation. You know, if it don't pertain to salvation, we're not going super deep into, what nationality or Abraham's other wives.
I'm gonna tell you what I told this Jake before. It was, I think it's Jake anyway, but he was talking about Genesis and the creation. How do we know that the creation? I said, know why that's there? It's because to show you that the higher power created the earth. No one else has a great description of how the earth was created like that. But that's not the point of the book.
Right.
That's just giving credence to who authored who authored the book. That's all it does. So you know that this is coming from a celestial place. The rest of everything that's written, because when you get into it, it don't even go into that stuff as much as it go into a lineage that goes from beginning to the end of the
It's
book.
just from the perspective of this group of people.
Right.
Because the other nations had their own perspective of the beginning of the creation and all that.
They got their own perspective of the flood.
Flood and all that.
Yeah.
Yep. If I can get this real quick, 2 Corinthians 12, and I'll start at I'll start at 5. It says, "This experience is worth boasting about, but I'm not going to do it. I will boast only about my weakness. If I wanted to boast, I would be no fool in doing so, because I will be telling the truth. But I won't do it because I don't want anyone to give me credit beyond what they can see in my life or hear in my message. Even though I have received such wonderful revelations from the Most High, so to keep me from being proud, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me and keep me from becoming proud."
yeah.
Keep you from being proud. Most High hates a proud one. Pride is when a man departed from his maker, right? So the object of this book is not to keep to build ourselves up to depart from our maker, but to draw us closer to it and understand and reverence of it.
I agree. This is Second
There
Corinthians.
was a little
Slack it, bro. You got it.
There was a
Sorry.
little. It says 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness." So now I am glad to boast about my weakness, so that the power of a Mashiach can work through me. That's why I take pleasure in my weaknesses, and in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and trouble that I suffer for a Mashiach. For when I am weak, then I am strong.
Yep. Because how are you able to push through?
Yeah, it's a testimony.
And what's funny is
That's the demonstrating of the power, man.
And what's the name?
Like, how this dude died, and now he's back out here teaching. He got stoned to death. We see this man back out here preaching like he never got sent back to the spirit world.
Like that one was sent him. Got him sent, I mean, you know.
Imagine something like that happening to one of these guys in Israel today that's already into themselves. If they got stoned or shot or something terrible happened to them and they you know, pretty much flatlined and then came back, they gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm the Messiah. They gonna damn near, you know.
Proud as hell.
So look at
Tupac and 50 Cent.
I was gonna say that scripture that you read because when I was in the world, I love that it's just a writing, I guess, called Footprints. Y'all know that one, Footprints? About the Lord walked with me and there were 2 footprints, and then at the hardest times in life, I looked down, there was only one set of prints. You know, Lord, why did you leave me? He said, I didn't leave you, I carried you in those times. Well, that's the infirmities, that's the weaknesses. And I think that's the closest scripture to that writing. Yeah. But you gotta think about it. When you're weak, that's when the power of the Lord makes a way. Man, we don't even realize. I think that was in that chapter. We don't even realize. Oh no, you did read it. It's not needful for you to see the things without eyes that are seen in secret. Like there's a lot of things that happen that you don't even realize the Lord just did for you. Yeah, and it's for us, Salaki, but it's for us to acknowledge that power. Like sometimes, you know, like we didn't see people not have a rent on Thursday, it's due on Friday, but then Friday afternoon, somehow it get figured out. You know? And then now, you know, so we've seen miracle type events happen. Now that don't seem like a miracle. But my mama gave it to me, yeah, but she didn't. How did she have it? How did she had a spirit to say, oh, well, let me give it to you? Just enough for you. And it was, you know, and the Lord works this way. That's why when you go into Job, the 33rd chapter, it talks about he sealeth man's instructions when he's asleep to hide pride from man. Yeah. So it's always to keep you humble was the main thing. Okay?
Yeah, that's an example. Like, because in this world, everybody has that narcissistic pride demon. Everybody's a lover of themselves, self-importance. It's me. Look, selfie. Yep. Look where I'm at. I'm over here in Cabo. I'm over here in Dubai. Yep. The Lord is starting to kill these social media influencers. These popular social media influencers. They're going out there on vacations and doing things. And the Lord putting them to death. Yep. You had an end up. She was popular on TikTok or whatever, doing skits. She went down to Cabo.
Yeah.
And was having a time of her life. But then that night she went to sleep and she didn't wake back up in the morning.
She had an asthma attack.
She had an asthma attack.
Did you post it, bro? The one about the mother went down to, or no, sir?
Oh, yeah, the sister.
The BBL?
2 sisters.
Oh, yeah.
She went with her.
To get the BBL done. She ended up dropping dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to recover.
Trying to blame it on the doctor. No.
Yep.
Y'all about Shemel Shah get there.
Right.
Put your ass to death, man.
Down there.
It's that simple.
Because you weren't going to use it for good. Like the one I sent about the chick that worked at McDonald's. She ended up getting fired. Why you at McDonald's with a BBL? Why you at McDonald's with a BBL? What's wrong? That's what I'm saying. Because you ain't trying to work at McDonald's forever. You trying to let that be the bait to get you up out of something. Exactly.
Yeah, they know they use that BBL as an investment.
Exactly. That's what they do.
Yeah.
What was wrong with changing your spirit and being subject to a man?
Yeah, bitches change everything except their personality and their morals.
Because those are the one things you can see, going back to how we can use that book. When people go to all that, we see through it. The rest of the world see that, they be like, dang. But we see through, for you to get all that shit, them duck lips and all that other shit, it's gotta be something wrong and rotten in here.
Right. You make your ass bigger and titties, you can't get a bitch a new brand. You know what I'm saying?
They get more retarded when they get
Yeah,
there.
right,
Exactly.
right.
Because now pride done jumped up in them. We talked about that, I think a couple weeks ago or the other day, we talked about the Nutty Professor.
Oh yeah,
Professor Clump, he was all big, right? Then he took the little stuff and he got skinny because he didn't go through, we were talking about because he didn't go through the labor of what it took. Well, what happened to his spirit when he got skinny? What was Buddy Love all about?
He was an asshole.
Me, the super asshole. You know? Look, I'm all spandex. I got jokes and I'm a clown. I mean, come on, that ain't what this is for. That ain't what you did it for. It was to save your life, wasn't it? Same thing with this. The power of this has got the life and death in it too.
Look, another YouTuber.
Strapped to death.
P2
Yeah.
is the name, legally known as Philip Enuwali, was discovered dead in a Los Angeles mailroom.
He's like 26.
A lot of these dumb
He's
niggas out here
26.
Yeah, 26
playing,
years old.
Pranks on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's man.
Nothing wrong,
Man,
bro.
you gonna end up playing a prank on the wrong person. You know, hopefully they play a prank on an Edomite, Edomite gun-toting redneck Trump supporter, and they blast their ass, man.
Yep. They take it to trial,
Yeah.
and he get off.
And he get off.
You fucking with him.
Yep.
I hate them prank videos.
YouTuber stabbed to death as she live streamed on Tokyo Street.
See?
So all these popular YouTubers meeting their judgment. They got it, but a lot of them, the common theme is these people get proud.
Yep.
The Lord hates he hates pride. He hates evil pride.
Yep.
You know, one of the 6 things that the Lord hates, one is a proud look.
Yeah.
Y'all know where that's at? Yeah, I blew the dust off that one. Wow.
2 Timothy 3:1. I read it. Yeah, I read it in NLT.
And Salakia. And so, just showing you how the Lord is making examples of people in the world like this, how much more you that are in Israel,
Who's handling
in the
his word?
circumcision, handling the word of the Most High.
Who's handling the flock?
Come. But you misusing the word for your own selfish ambition, your own ulterior motives, man. You trying to exalt yourself. Hey, Nate, he's about to damn near turn into Yahweh Shai soon.
Yeah, we was saying we can't wait to see
We
what
anticipate
he
what he gonna do with the Passover.
It's gonna get crazy. It's like he levels up each Passover.
Yeah.
Came in with the wolf fur coat one year. Came in.
They gotta outdo himself every year.
Yeah.
The reprobates got to try to outdo each other, man.
Yeah.
She might pull up the vision of the eyes. I'm too good. Y'all can't see me.
He gonna come with
He gonna put his AI version of himself on a projector, the holographic form.
All up in the cloud, bro.
They might have that nigga at the next Coachella and shit.
I would say that nigga gonna come in with the Iron Man suit, just you know.
We being
Jetpack.
funny, but we can see. Like, where you gonna go from here? No limit to that.
But yeah, you get your balance, bro.
2 Timothy 3:1 NLT. You should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times. For people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at the Most High, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred.
Man, nothing holy.
They will be
Like the Passover. You not the fact that you're not keeping it solemn. You really don't have any reverence. I'm trying to think of the term, but like basically you don't treat it as a sacred day.
Yeah, you don't.
You're doing your own pleasure, man.
You don't. Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah, hollow.
Yeah, hollow. Yeah.
They're not keeping it sacred. You can, hey, based on their doctrine, you can hey, after the service, let's go do something.
Go to the club.
You can grab up a chick that happen to be there. And y'all feeling each other, y'all eyes locked in and shit. And y'all just ate the bitter herb and ate the lamb, drank the wine, and now y'all finna go get busy a few hours after that.
On the Shabbat. On the Passover.
Yeah. Because according to them, you could do it on the Sabbath day.
Right.
So this is what the scripture is talking about. Go ahead.
They will be unloving and forgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and hate what is good. They will betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride.
Puffed up with pride is what we seeing. And one guy just got exposed badly, man.
Wasn't bad enough for him.
Yeah, and I guess it wasn't enough because this nigga still clubbing.
Had the nerve to show his face at the Passover.
Came to the Passover, nigga in that he in a little stance. He was in some little stance. It looked damn near. It looked Masonic though. His little stance looked a little Masonic to me.
Y'all think he should have held back on keeping the Passover this year? You have the nerve.
Or at least in the solemnity of your own home.
Yep.
He don't even have the humility to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna just have it just solo.
I don't need to be seen.
I don't need to be seen right now.
Good luck.
You know, if y'all want to carry on and y'all already know how to do it, he couldn't even do that because he knew that he still got underlings and people that damn near worship him. That's gonna be right there. That's gonna throw the rose petals at his feet.
Imagine what they told him. It's all right, Chief. We all got shortcomings.
We all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
Trust me, I'll fall 7 times and get back
I
up.
have the scripture on me, bro.
That's what it means to be shamefaced, man. To hide your face.
Yeah.
You're not hiding your face. You're just pretty much like, okay, whatever. This is who I am.
Man, they didn't see David for days, right? Yeah. When he fasted and he was in mourning for what he did. They didn't see him for days. He didn't want to eat. He didn't want to drink.
Especially when the baby died.
And then when a baby when he knew that the baby passed in the judgment, then he, all right, let me go back and man, he accepted his punishment. Go ahead.
And love pleasure rather than the Most High. They will act religious, but they will reject the power that could make them godly.
They will act the part. They will act like they're really about that, man. You know, but it's all based on pretense. It's BS. Like, what was that in Titus? I believe like the last verse, where it says that they are to all about their works, and it calls them a reprobate. He waited till he drove off to say some shit. Scary ass. Yeah, go. The last
Titus
verse.
3?
No, Titus 1.
Titus 1.
1 and like 16, I think.
Titus 1 and 16. They profess that they know the Most High.
To back up what he just read, go ahead.
But in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate.
There it is.
Void of judgment.
That's how they have a form of they have a form of godliness, but they deny the power thereof. You know, because but their heart is far from them.
They said they will act religious, but they will reject the power that could make them godly. Stay away from people like that. They are the kind who work their way into people's homes and win the confidence of vulnerable women who are burdened with the guilt of sin and controlled by various desires.
And these types, they attract a bunch of women.
Yep.
And there's no wonder why a lot of these congregations that have a bunch of women in the midst of their congregation, it's always scandals.
Yep.
It's always chaos, confusion. They set that environment for themselves. And when especially when there's bad leadership, you win for it.
Yeah.
That's the pattern that's the pattern that I see. If you got a bunch of women and they got all these demons on them, but you think that you bringing them in and cleaning them up, these organizations that you see that they dismantle them, man. Them organizations get dismantled by these women, man.
They think that it ain't you that clean up the women. It's the Most High.
Yeah.
That cleans you up. You know, they thinking that, oh, I brought fruit in. It's my fruit. Like, nah, the Most High.
Because you made her put on a damn head wrap and put on a dress or whatever.
Yeah.
and with fringes, so you think you doing something.
It's the same thing.
When clearly the scriptures say, let the outward adorning be of the
Good works.
with good works, man. Not with broided hair and costly array and jewelry and all that outward, all the cosmetics and shit. And you seeing that with his situation. You got all these women, and so he thinking like, yeah, I gotta be a man of the Lord. I got multiple wives. I got all these followers. But your woman just exposed you before the congregation. She brought you down. And the scriptures do say a wicked woman is given a portion to a wicked man.
You're supposed to keep your lips from the woman that lies in your bosom.
Yep.
You know, she ain't supposed to know all of your deepest, darkest secrets. I'm not talking about no wicked shit, obviously. But she's not supposed to know everything about you as a man.
Scriptures say that. It's a rock.
And we were using before the 9th century. Anyway, we were using we were using Samson the last time about it as the analogy of right that instance to learn from. You know, why would you give her what can take you down, what will crumble you?
Yep.
She should know that. You shouldn't be involved with her. I'm not trying to say what he was up to was cool, but go buy somebody and pay them for that shit, bro. But really, you just shouldn't be doing it because they can come out and expose you, but no less than your woman. Your woman, the problem is your woman has an excuse because the one that you can pay to do it, she got what she wanted out the deal. She got her money. Now the other got a woman. Your wife gonna always want something else, and she got something on you. She gonna always look for something. And I'm just using that understanding. So you really just should be clean. That's why it's important that we just walk the right way.
Women, they're naturally sensual. You know, they naturally carnal, and they operate off of emotion and senses. So going back to that point you was making in the beginning of camp about, you know, women, they hypergamous. They cleave to, you know, men with power, strength, stability, so on and so forth. But they don't see the real you. They only see what's on the outside and in the image that you have. That's why.
I was just gonna say, when that image ain't squeaky and all powerful, when they start seeing the vulnerability of it, a lot of them feel like they conquered you and they know you, and now they ready to move on and conquer someone else. That's what the game pretty much is for women nowadays.
You think with a guy like him who just prided himself on being they named themselves the dagger men of Israel because of how good they can cut people off the scriptures. But you didn't apply the wisdom that could have prevented all this shit that just unfolded, that ended up causing you to be completely cast down in the midst of the congregation.
She don't care about you or the ministry,
bro.
Nah, she not.
And she can move on now.
Yeah.
And that's the cold part, because you was trying to help her move on.
I believe the scriptures even speak about that, about how a woman, she's not supposed to be, you know, telling all the business.
Yep.
Right, being a busybody.
Yep.
You know, the scriptures even warn about that.
Yep.
You know, they'll be tattlers,
Yep.
being idle.
Yep. Being idle.
Like it says in Titus about how the women are supposed to be.
Gone.
Yep.
Yeah, one.
So not
One.
Yeah.
Not giving too much wine, to be lovers of their husbands, to be chaste, keepers at home. Titus 2.
Is it 2?
Titus 2 starting at.
But Paul's words have no authority.
It's just
He didn't have to take his advice because his words are not authoritative. That advice could have prevented you.
Yep. You needed Paul's advice.
You needed to heed Paul's advice.
Yeah.
You needed it more than anybody else and shit, man.
Yeah. That's the example the Most High make out of you. You got it?
One of them brothers gonna get it?
I got it.
Leave it with them, but
Titus 3 and 2. I start at the top. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. that the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, and patience. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed.
Now the discretion should be, she shouldn't have snitched on that. We ain't ever overlooked that. She wasn't supposed to out him. Okay? We know that part.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have been involved in this shit in the first place, bro. Okay, then she would not have nothing to tell.
Right, and as long as the lights are on, as long as the restaurants and the nail salons are open, and the grocery stores, and they got these jobs, they're not gonna repent. All right, they're gonna get proud. They're more and more proud because, oh, I don't need a man. Hey, I don't need a man to tell me what to do. I can do it on my own. Okay. That's really how they feel, and they love that, man. A woman, that independent spirit. When it's like when they can say they achieved it and be self-sufficient. Oh shit, man, that's the attitude these women get is very ugly. You know, they feel like if they could get rid of men, they would. They said that, you know.
With that bitch Ducci, the rap chick, the Grammy Award winning, Billboard Woman of the Year.
Oh yeah, they pumping her up now.
But this bitch sits on a platform and can say it's a red flag if you're a heterosexual man.
If you ain't experimenting, fiddling with your backside and all that, you weird.
Yeah.
She loves Sakari, bro.
Yeah.
It seems like, what's his name? Listen to her.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
He took
That
to her
would be his
advice.
type of woman.
Yeah, that's the spirit, bro.
Yeah.
That's the worldly spirit. You got something?
This is 1 Timothy 5:6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth.
Right, jump down to verse of like 12.
12. It says, having damnation because they have cast off their first faith. Or should it be 11?
Yeah, read 11.
It says, but the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanton against a Mashiach, they will marry.
Hold on. Yeah. Read down the point is in 13.
Okay, I'll read from 11.
Yeah.
But the younger widows refuse, for when they have begun to wax wanton against a Mashiach, they will marry.
Yeah, because back then women had, when a woman was widowed, they had more honor by basically they're choosing not to remarry even after their husband passed. Just spend the rest of their life just serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah.
So showing support to the men of the Lord, the church, and whatnot. But some of them women, they still had the hots.
Yeah, the urge.
They had no discipline. All right. So you can imagine these young chicks now in these camps, in these other organizations. This is why it's a freak off.
Let a brother bring out a new precept.
It's a straight freak off, man.
Hey, all of them now.
You can't just simply have a wife and keep her at home. Everybody got to be commiserating and hanging out and liquor and music, and this is the same environment that niggas in the world have.
Right.
When they partying or at the club or whatever. They're not following the advice and the instructions in the scriptures, man. But they so good at cutting you, pulling this precept and that precept.
They good at getting on these different platforms and talking about, bullshit.
Yeah.
We were talking about that double-edged sword earlier.
Yep.
Come.
You ain't taking heed to the things that you call yourself teaching. All it takes is for you to assist to oh, I like your haircut, brother. I like your garment.
Yeah, I like your
Just like at the club.
Get the hell away.
You made this lamb, brother? Oh, you
did that.
You did that?
I need that recipe from you. No, you don't. Go Google it. I got it right on BettyCrocker.com. Get out of here.
can't believe none of these chicks, man.
That's why you go.
And see, that's why you can't be surrounded by them, bro. You can't. That ain't where you counsel.
That's why the elder said the Lord brings the best and the worst men in the truth. Hey, that's the women too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, hey, nothing's worse than a woman with a head wrap on who's bringing out scriptures, man.
Yeah.
Plotting, waiting on her moment to shine.
Yeah.
This ain't got no. This captivity, this last captivity was your chance to shine. You coming into the truth, you cut your shine short.
Yeah.
You cut it off.
Cut it off, cause it ain't ever coming back. Yeah.
Actually, I got that.
Let him finish.
It says, having damnation because they have cast off their first faith. And withal, they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers, also and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not.
Yep. Tattlers, busybodies, speaking things that they ought not. Now you give an occasion for the adversary to speak reproachfully.
Yep.
Now the ministry is being blamed because of your offenses.
Everybody in that equation was wrong.
Everybody.
Even the ones that didn't get outed was wrong.
If you knew this shit was going on even prior,
There you go.
and didn't say nothing.
Not
You
to
know,
us.
Yeah.
Not to us. To him to get him
To
to
him,
stop doing
yeah,
that.
amongst
to repent
them.
from that shit. Yeah. We don't believe me. We don't care till we want to know what your private info and what's doing. But when it come out, we have to edify the people against it.
Yeah.
And now you got this dude, Ariala, the one who brought out the information. He's doing a round 2 now.
Yep.
He's doing a second episode.
Monetized for sure.
I'm pretty sure it is. But now he got more receipts that he so it's just straight it's fuckery. But this is what happens when you have a whole organization built off of self-willed, young, immature leaders.
And you know what? He probably not doing it just for, the embarrassment. He's doing it for the embarrassment of Eleazar, but he wants that top spot too.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He needs to take on some disciples for himself. The Lord can expose your intentions, man.
No, what does that say?
Disciples
Disciples
unto himself, like Acts, was it 28, I think?
Yeah, the other one I was thinking was bring captive silly women, but yeah, that
I think he just read that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that can't be the one.
I was gonna quote the
Subvert old houses and lead captive silly women laden with diverse lusts.
Yep.
And that's what you see.
some teach Hamashiach strife.
Like envy.
Envy and strife.
Yeah. That's clearly that dude.
Yep.
And of course, a lot of people tuning in, just like tuning in to see a reality show.
Mm-hmm.
It's for the drama.
They want to get entertained, so them type of videos that's gonna be the most hits you ever get.
And they hoping that this is what the stone, the Jenga piece that knocks down the whole Hebrew Israelite thing.
Right.
The world is hoping for that.
They're like, man, if this is a snowball effect,
Yep.
I hope the whole Israelite,
Ringo was leaving.
all one West, all the camps.
Yeah.
That's why you shouldn't have no camp.
Because Jake,
Just follow the
they're
Most
looking
High.
for an offense
Yep.
to leave.
Yep.
They really don't want to believe. They really don't believe this thing. They're just looking for the excuse.
Like Shaquat always goes into, they don't want to take on the responsibility.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jake wants it, like you said, an excuse to not do the work, an excuse to go back into the world. And in truth be told, if that's what your mind is, let's go, man.
Don't waste your time.
Didn't you read the scripture like that last night? I forget how it was. You read it in like the NLT or something.
Go ahead, get what you got.
I got and we always bring this out, but it's necessary because it's the foundation of the body. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
There it is.
That's the foundation of everything, man. And for reasons like what we're talking about, as well as many more, man.
Who does he counsel?
How you gonna care for the Lord and your house ain't even in order?
Your physical, your personal house.
Yeah.
Not even, look, how many houses we gotta talk about? He ain't got his spiritual house together, his personal spiritual house together. He don't have his house with his woman together. His church house is off as well.
Yep.
How could you ever attend sincerely unto the Lord's house? You said this brother got some. Been home.
You go back to the woman, you know, like when I used to pillow talk to her, you know.
Yeah, perfect.
But Ecclesiastes 25 and 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gather abroad. If she goes not, as thou wouldest have her cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go.
It is. So you really supposed to have control of your house like that. You really supposed to be able to be like, look, keep your mouth. But you shouldn't have been. What's the one? Is that Amos 7? Where it says
Your wife shall be as a harlot in the city.
No. The one that says basically don't.
Teaching her evil lesson against
Yeah,
evil.
is that the one?
Put not confidence in it.
Yeah.
And a guide.
Yeah, in the God. Yep.
Micah 75.
What is that?
Micah 75.
Micah 75. It's Micah. Yeah, Micah 75. Yeah, but the point is, you shouldn't be pillow talking, giving all that information out. To give her something to talk about, she really should just be busy. You got one too?
Yeah, it's like you gotta, like the woman who came beginning to saying, you gotta know her characteristics.
Yeah.
That demon can hop on her very quickly.
Right, yeah.
She ain't gonna know it.
Right.
It's just how a woman is, man. So you can't tell her anything, every deep dark secret, you know, that you experience or in your life or whatever.
So we're going to set it, and this is just an example of how it makes it alive and how you use it, right? I had a woman that, when we got cable TV, she became a demon. When I went to work, she'd be at home watching cable TV, watching all the housewives and Kardashians and shit. Right, looking at that lifestyle, I come in, ain't nothing cooked, ain't nothing clean, just like, damn, what's going on? What you been doing all day? And now she mad at me like I did something or didn't do something.
She looking
right?
at them like she deserves. She want a lifestyle.
She want a lifestyle. Well, they don't ever clean up on them shows, right? But what do you But how do you do that? I was like, hey, let me see the remote. Right to YouTube. Put the videos on. Put the apostles on. You are gonna have to listen to this through this house. So I'm gonna go in my room. Yeah, you go in the room. And it kept her away from me. Then separation time made her start thinking like, hey, I don't do that to. I want some affection time with you. I ain't getting no affection time with me right now. I gotta cut that off. So what ended up happening? Now she gotta come in there and listen. I got an hour and a half of this live lesson still to go before it's over. And so she gonna come in there and sit with me. You hungry? Want me to order some food? Yeah, you wanna now your spirit is getting becoming corrected because she's hearing the word that's kind of so you gotta be able to use wisdom, like we were saying earlier, in figuring out how to navigate these things. Not that she's listening to Salaki, but not that she's listening to the breakdowns, but that she can't get in because you're not gonna let nothing distract her from it.
And 2025, I advise y'all brothers, don't tell no woman about the truth. Y'all meet a new woman or whatever, don't tell them shit, man. It don't matter if she with you for years, man. Don't tell them nothing, man. I mean, something gonna come out, but just try to keep it.
Keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, only with so you don't go to church on Sunday, or whatever, whatever. So you don't eat pork. Are you a Muslim or something? No,
You don't get celebrate Christmas.
You don't celebrate Christmas? What is that?
What about Easter?
That's Seventh Day Adventist. They were trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I have to say some shit. Well, I grew up like that.
Yeah.
There you go. Because we gotta give you what to say. Because you fuck around and say something.
It's real though.
They're gonna say Merry Christmas and Happy Easter and Happy Mother's Day and all that all that other shit.
Just don't
And they're gonna be expecting you to respond back with the same saying, but no, you just
I'll say thank you.
Hey, you have a good
you too.
You have a good day.
Yeah.
Good day today.
I say same to you. I don't see that coming out my mouth.
She come by and she noticed there ain't no decorations, there ain't nothing that commemorates anything. She might question you about it, like, no, it's just a regular day for me. Don't worry about you. You know what I'm saying? You enjoying your day though?
Yeah, kind
like
of.
that's you gonna have to you gonna have to kind of play mind games a little bit.
You gotta use wisdom.
Use wisdom. But she gonna notice your conduct, and eventually she gonna start to want to know more about, you know, why you the way you are. You don't let on too much about it. You let her figure that out. Because like the scriptures, like Paul said, an unbelieving woman can be sanctified by a believing husband.
Yep.
So she just might see your conduct and notice that you elevate. You know, you're growing. Your countenance is shining. Like she noticed some things. You're different. You're not no regular ordinary dude. So she gonna, you know, some of these women gonna notice that. Some of them, if they wicked, you're gonna escape from her.
Just the one you was going earlier, you know, walking wisdom toward them that are without. Those that are without represents the non-believers. Just because they non-believers don't necessarily mean that they wicked, but they don't believe what you believe or live the way you live.
Yeah, sometimes Jakes need that, you know, that physical example you walking in order to see, you know, what's actually right.
Possible.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, dealing with women, they're all.
It's like they like that gossip shit.
Yeah.
They notice that you ain't into all that shit. You know, like, I don't give a fuck about that. She gonna be like, damn. I can't even talk to this nigga. I can't even talk to him.
He got mad at
He just got mad.
Cut me off because he was talking.
I don't want to hear that about that shit, man.
She's like,
you know?
I was like, I don't give a fuck. I said,
You, and that's just to, you know, cut all the bullshit out your life.
Yeah, so that shit.
Because she can bring that to you.
Now, I was just gonna say, man, you know, a lot of times dealing with women, bro, it's important when we talk about pillow talk. Pillow talk refers to what just happened, right? What just happened when you pillow talk? You just got it in with her, right? That's when you shut the hell up.
Oh yeah, you bust that nut.
Shut the hell. You did the work already, man.
You need some food.
You did the hard part. You did all the talking.
Yeah.
To lead up to that.
You supposed to learn from Samson.
I'm just being real.
Kind.
Yeah.
He was supposed to just hit it and that's it.
Yeah, roll over, go to sleep, keep your hair locked up, you know. Don't start talking now. You know, my spirit is so open when I'm with you, babe. I just want to tell you, man, shut the hell up, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam too, right? Yeah.
You use their vagina. Yeah, man, you can't get
Hey,
caught up
it's
like
powerful. Now, let's be real. It's powerful, according to the flesh. But we're on something bigger than the flesh now. This brother got one.
Slack it, bro. I wanted to bring out what you said earlier. Micah 7:5 NLT. Don't trust anyone. No, not your best friend or even your wife.
Yep, that was
Micah 7:5.
Micah 7:5. NLT.
Yep. You got it, bro. You got it.
Proverbs 31:3. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways that which destroyeth kings.
Hey, just like Samson. When you give a woman your weaknesses, that's you giving her your strength.
Yeah.
Yep. Because she gonna prove it. You can't just tell her, like, man, don't ever do this to me, man. I'm susceptible to this.
I don't know what I'll do if I lost you like that.
Oh man, she gonna put it to the test. You gonna try it.
And that was King Lemuel's mother.
Yep. Woman told me.
Hey, I always think like this could be a scenario she's thinking, right? Because if the king gives his heart to his wife or his woman, you know, women they hate each other, low key.
Yep.
So the wife might be trying to take over the kingdom or some shit, you know?
Yep, trying to marry you for that.
Yeah, kick the mother off to the side or some shit.
Get the first address.
Jake be scheming, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, you seen that on House of David, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna marry his family.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joint family, but it's always for a nefarious purpose.
Ptolemy did it.
Ptolemy did it.
I was just telling the brother that Nero's mom did that for him.
Yep.
To to make sure he was ruler. Nero was wicked. I think Nero killed his mom. Last in history.
Oh yeah, Last Kingdom.
Someone asked something. Oh, this brother.
You gonna say something?
Oh yeah, that was a true statement.
And even the Hasmoneans.
Yep. Exactly.
They married in with the Herodians. And next thing you know, the Herodians took their spot.
Okay, you go on.
You know?
The Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yep.
The last kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a chess move. It's a power move.
It is.
If you know, especially if that guy's susceptible to
Yeah,
it.
because they know that woman can get the closest to that man.
I'm
didn't
trying
tell
to
us
think
though.
which is higher. It's basically departing from your maker, but women is up there with destroying men. Women is one of the top things throughout the scriptures would have destroyed men. Even in today's time, since the beginning all the way through. We're going through this. If you'd have kept reading, not that they should have, but if you'd have kept reading in that Sirach 25, it was going to say from women became the beginning of sin. Through her we all died.
Yeah, he read that.
Yeah. Did you read that verse?
Yeah, he read that.
My fault. Yeah, but that was the verse though. With that, man, that lets you know so many. And that's why Solomon said, of 1,000 men, only one have I found, but of a woman have I not found.
So why would you want to surround yourself? That's why they wonder. They think that apostles is mad when they say no women. Y'all hate women. They'll throw that misogynist term at us.
Not saying you can't have a woman,
Right.
but the women are not an integral part in this truth.
Ministry.
The ministry. You have your woman, but you keep your woman to the side. You know, your woman let her play her role.
But you had a few women that supported the ministry. You know, you had support. You had helps. Women that actually ministered, but not in a way that the men that standing on the front lines and sacrificing their lives, that wasn't their role. Women have their own purpose when it's in its rightful order.
Right.
That's why
Right? They're not at the forefront. They're not on the front lines. All right. Paul said, "I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence, with all subjection." You get with these other camps that highly revere these women, they let their women do what the hell they want to do, and that's why they always got this mess going on.
That's why the churches are the way they are. They got women in leadership.
Exactly.
That's what Paul was talking against. Exactly.
And it's that saying,
No, you good.
that saying, to know the condition or the state of a kingdom, look at their women. The same goes for a camp, you know, in a particular organization. If they women have any kind of say or they in the forefront, it's most likely it's no organization and no order in it.
Work your own camera, man.
Yeah.
You got women teaching classes and shit.
Yeah.
Sakari University. You know what I mean?
I know you got women on doing video on some of these different camps.
You got women coming on the comment boards trying to rebuke brothers.
The women came on your comment
One
board.
bitch tried to rebuke me because I cussed out Ringo. The fuck?
Yeah, heated when you see that.
She come on there talking about some Yahusha. I'm like, yeah, you definitely belong to you one of them.
Yeah.
You know?
But you see, the example is they show everybody when you use this book, they will show you where their minds are really at. And so you have the advantage because you know how to deal in wisdom with a mind that's like that. And it's just basically start with, oh, you don't believe, or you don't use wisdom, and I'll just deal with you from this perspective. You got something too? You got it. You still hold it, right? Oh, yeah.
1 Corinthians 14 and 34. Let your woman keep silence in the churches.
Verse 33.
33.
Yep.
For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints.
Why you had to read that?
Hey. Wherever woman is, don't bring confusion. Especially in this thing of ours, man.
Yeah.
You have women around, hey, man. 9 times out of 10, man, it's gonna be something's going down, man. Some type of wickedness. That's why they don't need to have no shine on them. They need to be at home, upkeeping the house. That's their job, man. That's a job, man. You know? Taking care of the children.
An important job.
Yeah, it's an important job.
Vital, really.
That's sin and suppression, bro. That's a toxic masculinity, man. You know?
Showing you that our women still, they come into this thing with that same feminist mindset.
scripture say a wise woman will build her house, but the foolish pluck the ground with her hands.
Right, and if you don't meet every standard and give her the moon and the stars, then she's not gonna want to serve you.
That's not. That's still not.
That's still not
That's
enough.
still not.
You know?
These women need the environment, this whole environment, like you said earlier. The nail salon's still open, still running water. You know, people. You know, it's still peaceful out here, man. You know, but hey, all chaos needs to happen, man.
That's the only way they're gonna humble themselves.
When you see the wave of women that's complaining because men are not approaching them no more. They're trying to go to these mixers and nobody's showing up.
It's all women mixers. Like, this ain't what I signed up for. 12 is 19% men.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the older.
This is kind of a way of men taking that power back.
Yeah.
The men really gave all the power to these women.
Yeah.
By
Now that
showing
men
up,
are
dressing up,
yeah, now that
spending,
men are
buying
starting
drinks,
to finally
asking to dance.
acknowledge their self-worth.
Yep.
So now these women, they're starting to feel the pressure of not having men around.
At the same time, we see the tensions in the world, money tightening up, security
Man,
people,
Trump
active
doing a
shooters at
beautiful
any
job.
time.
Trump is doing a beautiful job.
Yeah.
The price of everything going up.
I'll come to the fact to understand, this woman said that, I come to the fact to understand, you really can't do this thing by yourself.
No shit.
Dummy.
Right.
It took eggs to go up for you to figure this out.
Right.
You know?
And that's what I had to tell you.
Yeah. It really took.
It's prophecy. When that
All that aid
Isaiah
getting
4
cut
and
off.
1,
Yeah.
Isaiah 4:1, that means the economy's fucked up. You know? That means employment is a deep recession when Isaiah 4:1 happened, man. Martial law out in the streets, man. Curfews. You know, troops running up and down the streets in tanks and shit. You know?
Yeah, you ain't got your dream job no more.
Right.
You can't boast about, you know, I work for the government, or I got a federal job, or I got a corporate job.
Hey, the internet's cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now what you finna do?
Social media ban.
You gonna share them in, or you just gonna go sell yourself?
And you remember what they was doing when TikTok was talking about it.
Right.
How long TikTok go out? 6 hours?
Right.
They was losing their mind. Somebody bring that out in First Esdras. Go ahead. You have it?
You got it. Started by
Yep.
First Esdras 4:25.
Start with 13.
13?
Yep.
And we'll get in on this now.
Yeah, 13.
First edges.
First Esdras 4.
4:13.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Second Esdras 4:14.
And we were talking, about how the king, different kings that were subject to women a little earlier. This what made me think of it because this Esdras, Zerubbabel broke down the fact that the women are stronger than the king and wine, but truth above everything. You got it, bro.
First Esdras 14.
4 and 13.
Then the third who had spoken of woman and of the truth, this was Zorobabel, began to speak. O ye man, it is not the great king nor the multitude of men, neither is it wise that excellence who is it then that ruleth them, or have the lordship over them.
Yep.
Are they not women?
Hold on, bro. So he's giving the perspective, well, he already gave the perspective of how powerful and how influential and persuasive a king can be, how influential wine can be, because when you drink wine, it'll make you do things. If you're a king has power. He can point his finger and have you do things. But it's coming from a different perspective with women, because women, they can persuade you, you know. Hey, it speaks about that woman that have tinkling in her feet and their wanton eyes. Hey, a lot of times a woman can look you in your eyes and get you to do some shit, man. It's happened.
The art of seduction.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
Every great man we read about that fell of a woman, that's what she basically used.
Yeah.
They're seductive, and it's her nature to be seductive like that.
And was that in Sirach 9 where it says, "Gaze not upon a maid,
Yeah,
that thou
9 and 4.
but that thou fall not by the things that are precious in her."
Sirach 9.
Dang.
Yeah, I was holding it.
chapter. That
Dang.
was, start at 1.
I'm sorry, one.
Because the scriptures say that the woman is the glory of the man,
Yep.
and beauty cheers the countenance.
Yep.
A man loves nothing better,
Yep.
and that's just how the Lord biologically hardwired us
Yep.
to be attracted to beautiful women.
Yep.
Even to the point where sometimes you might be in awe, like, damn, this bitch bad.
Yeah.
So she might be able to soften you up a bit, you know. But you gotta learn how to, nah, can't let that happen. I don't care how beautiful you look.
That's exactly what it means. Give not your strength to that.
Don't give your strength to that. Don't give in
Your
to it.
actions. Your mind over to it.
It is-
And what the elder Ariella says. So what's your most precious? I'm gonna ask it as a question. Just throw some, just
Yep.
blurt them out if you got them. What's your most precious commodity that you brothers own? I'm sorry. It's close, but it's something that every man owns, not just us. Every man owns it, and women are out to get this. They ain't trying to get the Bible. So what are they really trying to get? A form of it. What is it though? It's your time and your energy and your money. I think the other one was time and money. Those what they want. Those are your most precious commodities
So I was
that you own.
gonna say your seed too.
Oh, they went all the way around.
Yeah.
You know? And because what does it take? Because by getting those other things, your time, that's your seed,
Yeah.
that's your energy, and your money. But, you know, we don't care about the money part. It's the time and the energy that we really want.
She's just the receiver.
Yep.
She's just everything that you do
Yep.
is based on you giving to her.
That's how
Everything
that
she's
dynamic
doing
was set up.
right now is based on receiving everything from you.
Instruction,
Yeah.
wisdom, seed, you just keep money, whatever, you can just keep going. You
She
know?
can turn into a succubus and
Yeah.
suck the life out of you.
Yep.
And I'm sure all of us brothers have experienced at some point, you know, a woman saying, "Oh, you don't spend enough time with me. You know, you always gone. You always busy." Now, some of it is just, you know, that's how women are. They come out of good nature, but some of them, they, like you said, they have plots. They scheming on you.
Yeah.
Last thing is because you said it. When I hear that, I'm not the best example, but I'm gonna just tell you. When I hear you're not giving me enough time, guess what I give you? More alone time away from you. Even if brothers laugh, because they be like, "You going home?" Yeah, but not yet. I'm gonna sit in the car for another 45 minutes to an hour. I'm gonna run to the store. I'm gonna go sit at the park and look at the birds and the trees. I'm gonna go do something. Hey, where you been at? Me? Don't do this. I'm hollering at bitches. I'll be at the park and shit by myself, reading, you know. But I'll tell them shit like that. And I don't care if y'all listening and watching the video right now. I don't care. I'm just being real with you, brothers. Though. This is a power that you gotta, in this thing, you gotta keep that for yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you come in the house, especially when it's messed up. It's messed up because
Mistreat their wives.
Here's the other side of it. Because what happens when you be gone, especially you come back in this powerful energy. We've been in this power. Oh, they miss you. They want time with you. They gonna want all that. So you better go take the time for yourself to get your mind right and whatever you gotta do. Then you go home and spend a little time with them. I'm just saying, not that I'm the most wise. I'm not. Trust me. But this is just something I do. You got it, bro. And it helps me.
15. Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that plant the vineyards from whence the wine cometh. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without woman cannot man be. And if a man have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty?
That's why a lot of men do what they do. That's why you see a lot of men. Now, don't get it wrong. Men love themselves, but a lot of times the influence behind a man's drive is a woman. A man goes to the gym because he loves himself. He want to look good, but at the end of the day, you want women to desire you as well. You want that money, that substance for yourself, so you can sustain yourself and your family. But at the same time, it attracts women.
19, and letting all those things go, though they not gape, and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her, and have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold, or any goodly thing whatsoever.
Because the glory of a man is a woman. But what's the glory of a woman? Her hair.
Which just goes into her beauty.
That's it.
That's why Eagle fucking dumpster dive for hair.
Dumpster dive.
She'll rob you at gunpoint.
Hey, you just gave the example in news articles. They going off to these countries to get the bag, to get BBLs, and they end up getting killed or dying. It's not used so they can come back and then their husband can have all that. Her exterior, so she can use it as a trap to catch men.
Yep. I seen the video. I kid you not. She was in the hospital. I forget what happened to her head. I don't know if she had got shot or stabbed or something, but to where she was bleeding a lot, and she couldn't leave her fucking wig alone. She put her wig on while she was bleeding. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's way more important than
that wig on.
20.
Yeah, it's a shame for her. She naturally feels shame when she doesn't have her hair. Yeah. It's supposed to be for her covering.
Yeah. Did y'all see the one where the chick was in she was in the hospital and she was showing off her eyelashes, but her arm just got chopped off? Yeah. She was just like, looking at her eyelashes and, but she's sitting over there with a severed arm. Like right below her shoulder. She was still worrying about, her looks. They didn't cut off these eyebrows.
It's all vanity.
These eyelashes.
It's all vain.
I gotta throw this out because it's big. Them cum brothers. That lets you know what profession they're in. I let you know if they can afford them and they got them, no matter what they dress like, if they don't be dressed all good that have them. That lets you know what profession they in and how important they think that is. You got it, bro. I can see your eyes.
Scripture say a horsewoman is known by a hottie looks and eyelids. Yep. There it is. But let's finish this out.
This
20. A man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father, nor mother, nor country. By this also you must know that women have dominated over you, dominion over you.
Yep.
Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? Ye, a man taketh his sword and goes his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon the light.
Lion.
And gathered in the darkness, and when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. Wherefore a man love his wife better than the father and mother. Yea, many there been that have run out of their wits for women and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred and sinned for women.
All examples in the scriptures.
We all got examples.
From Adam. And that's from what that caused is what we're dealing with to this day. Being subject to this. And having a taste of death. So that's why the Lord said, put her in the fucking back. And you lead the charge.
Keep me on.
And you focus on what I'm instructing you to do. And we getting right back to that.
Real quick, another thing about that is we also have the other side of that guidance from the other men that we saw do it the right way, but we got a lot of men that did it the wrong way. Job,
Yeah.
you know, the whole time he going through it, she in his ear trying to break him down. Yep. You know, hey, lots of daughters, we just let that slide a lot. Look how wicked they were. You know, thinking about themselves. You know, the mentality I'm talking about. But go ahead, bro.
And definitely King Solomon.
Absolutely. Yeah, we talking about it more.
28. And now thee ye not believe me, and not the king great in his power, do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him in Apama the king concubine, the daughter of the admirable Barticus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown of the king's head, and setting upon her own head, she also stroked the king with her left hand.
And that right hand of the king is not for just any old person to be there.
That's the second in command.
That's the armor bearer, the guard. That's the top chief counselor.
Yeah.
That's your priest. That's the top guy.
Because looking at the order, you have Yahweh, and then Yahweh Shai sits on the right hand of Yahweh, right? So.
Yeah, and they always say in the scriptures, my right hand shall deliver thee. My right hand, my right hand.
So she's sitting